In this challenge, we'll be talking about list comprehension. So just click on this, and here is the instruction. The instruction says, let's learn about list comprehension. You are given three integers x, y, and z, representing three dimensions of a cuboid along which an integer n. Print a list of all possible coordinates given by I, j, k on a 3D grid where the sum of I plus j plus k is not equal to n. So these are some of the constraints. And we are asked to use list comprehension. So this is basically a for loop assignment. We are being asked to create something like this, a list in which we have another set of lists. Alright, we are being asked to create something like this. We are being asked to create something like this. Inside the list, we may have 0, 1, 2. Here, maybe 1, 2, 4. The next one we have maybe 2, 3, 4. So this is basically what we have been asked to do. And what is the common structure of a for loop? The common structure of a for loop is something like this. We have, let's say, we have a square. And then you want to add a list inside the square. So you say something like for x range 5 squares that append maybe x or x times x or whatever it is that you will be calculating. So this is the natural flow of forming a list from variables. However, in this list comprehension, we are to reduce this structure into a single line. So we are asked to make something like this. Let's say the grid is equal to, so if we are to replace this exact feature in a list comprehension, it will be something like this: x dot x x, when I say for x in range 5. So this is exactly equal to this. Okay, if we want it to be exactly the same, we can make this square. So this here is same thing as this. So this is using for loop to achieve the same thing that the list comprehension is achieving for us. So now let's go to the actual assignment and let's see how we can solve this problem. So we'll say grid is equal to, now we have three variables, I, j, k, right? And they are to be in all of them are to be in list. So we'll create another square bracket and we'll put the variables I, comma, j, comma, and k. We'll start with I first. For I in range, alright, so I will be taking on the variable x. So we say for I in range X, but recall that when you use the range function, it usually will not calculate the last number. It will eliminate one, so we'll put +1 so that we can cover up for that number. So this is the first variable we have taken care of. We need to take care of y also, so we'll go again for j in range y +1, and then for k in range z +1. If we should run this now, let's say print grid. If we should run this now, let's run it and see. So let's run our code and see what the output will be. Run. So you can see that we did not get the test case, but what did we get? You can see our output is similar. Look at the expected, look at our outputs here, and then look at the expected outputs. Now, what was the key difference? We did not put the constraints. So let's go and add the constraint. What is the constraint? The constraint is saying that the sum of I plus j plus k must not be equal to n, which means we will be given an n. This is the n that we are given. So we are going to add that constraint in this list comprehension. And how do we do that? We just say if I plus j plus k is not equal to n. Already we are given n. It will filter the lists and then give us what we are requesting for. So let's run that and see. So you can see that we meet the first test case now. This is our output and this is the expected output. Now let's submit the code and see if we pass all the test cases. So you can see our code meets all the test cases. So once again, look at the code. Using list comprehension, this is I, j, k for I in range x +1, for j in range y +1, for k in range z +1. If I plus j plus k is not equal to n, print the grid. So you can see if we are to replicate this using for loop, the normal structured for loop, the lines of the code will extend to about 9, and that will be a lot. So that's the function of list comprehension, making your code to be compact.